all about
being
weather.
cancer
And we
survivor,
saw
I
Will and
will
W dressers, and we saw like
second that.
triumph dressers, and then we started seeing these little cafe racers. So we're going up through all these, the roads would have the rocks on them. And up in the highlands, of course, you can see, but you get down lower, all the roads have big, tall
Yeah, those
hedges along, and so you'll see a spot where you can see for like 100 yards, and then the hedge will be back, and you can't see them. Gorgeous views for when you can see them. Otherwise, you feel like you're in a maze. But these little Triumph Cafe racers were going around us like.
Yeah, we
It's
didn't see
crazy.
that many motorcycles. It must have been just a.
It was just a pretty Saturday. We pulled in one gas station in the middle of nowhere, and I bet there were 60 bikes. And I had to wait in line for like, I bet 10 minutes to get up and pay for the gas.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Real nice bunch of guys chatting up.
Yeah.
They had some twin, they had some, they were four cycles. So they had the little cafe racer. They had a lot of chrome on them. I think they're probably from the early seventies. Twin V,
Yeah.
air cooled 4-stroke twin V. And they had dual carburetors on, one on each cylinder. And they.
I just put it up.
They're a bunch of, must have been a club.
Yeah. Well, talking about the friendly people, we talk to so many people, everyone's really super friendly people.
Only real butthole I met was an American in Paris.
Yeah.
And he was a jerk.
Yeah, well, yeah.
He was basically cussing out this bouncer, a big black guy, handsome guy. He looked like he'd have wadded me up Clinton Street, dressed to the nines at a kind of a perfume store. And we come up and it's late, and so if it's after 6:30, you can't go in. And he knew that, and he stopped there, talked to two other people, saw him leave. But he was the first one who didn't get in the store, and he was a jerk. Oh yeah. He said, "That's why people hate you, French people. You're just a bunch of blankety blank." And the guy just sat there and goes, "I'm from South Africa." But he could have wadded that guy up and just knocked him in the road. I thought.
Everybody's gotta be the first guy that doesn't get in.
Yeah, that's right. So we just looked at him and shrugged. But
I got 429. Are we live?
I'm off.
You're live.
I've got 432 back there, but whatever.
I'm telling that story live.
Oh, it is 420. Okay.
What's this?
Hold on just a second. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I got 429.
I need to change the clock.
Not me.
All right, let's call this
Yeah,
meeting
there
to
we go.
order. Regular meeting on October 16th. You have the agenda there in front of you. The minutes, we need to approve the minutes of the August 21st regular meeting. And of course, the September regular meeting was canceled, and just need to get that on the official record, I guess. So do we have a motion to accept the meeting minutes of the August 21st meeting?
So moved.
All right, Bill gives us a motion to approve. To have a second.
Second.
Okay, Michael Ford gives a second. All in favor, say aye. All approved, but like sign. So, all right, on the financial reports, we'll be reviewing them as of the September date. Looking at the water budget tracking, the operating revenue for the water is back improved, running slightly ahead of the budgeted year-to-date balance, 482 to 462, so we're about 20,000 there. Of course, we've got the grant money, so I'm glad to see the revenue there back up closer to what we had budgeted. Seemed like last year we were running behind in some areas, so hopefully this will hold. As far as the expenses, I think everything was pretty steady for the individual line items. Total so far has been 358,000 versus a budgeted 461,000. So things are looking good on the water side. On the sewer budget tracking, again, the revenue is running well ahead of what we had budgeted. Glenda and I was talking about that. We haven't come up with any real reason other than maybe we have good business at the sewer, but it's 266,000 year to date against a budget of 187,500. So that's a positive as well in that area. The expenses, the maintenance and repair to the system, 75,000 against a year-to-date budget of 27,000, the full year budget of 110. So we had some maintenances there.
Could we get a clarification about that? What were some of those?
I'm sorry, I did not print that out.
Yeah,
I
could you
should
help
have.
us out there, Bobby, what that might be? There
Any
was,
big sewer, I know they're working on the lagoon down there by the Hartmans, is that?
That big lift station problem.
Oh, yeah, that's what it's gotta be the lagoon cost. I'm guessing because
Right.
the line and the groove, removing.
Well, I
that
do,
goes into.
I know, I do know on some of
We,
that.
we've just.
Great, I did look.
Hey, you got a lot going on.
The waste path charges of about 30,000 have been put in that account and they need to be, I've got to move them out and put them over in sewer lagoon
Okay,
in that account. Because I did look that up today and I was like, okay, I don't know why that's been put in there.
waste pack doing what?
This slow.
Where we take the,
Taking out the sludge.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And thank goodness it's out and gone.
yes,
Sitting in it.
so that is.
Yeah.
Oh, we don't have those bags out there anymore? Wow.
No.
We just didn't add any more.
Yeah, well, we didn't have.
Didn't have it.
But the other, there were two there, we got rid of them, because we all about that.
Good.
It all mixed in together.
Great.
The recipient of that sludge was very thankful. So just
Thankfully.
notice that.
Okay, Bill, did you hear?
Nope.
So there's no more bags. Bags are gone.
The bags are gone. Gonna miss those.
Yeah, so they were.
Or they know that.
Okay,
I can't recall.
this is where we dewatered it before,
Right.
and added in the bags and they're dewatered.
Right.
So he's mixed the bags in and got rid of some of it. And then-
So you talking about
Got all of it.
The bags over here when Roger was here?
The bags that were
Yes.
graded.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
I have to verify if they're all gone, but. Cause they had them in two different spots, I have to make sure that I got them other ones or not, but.
Yeah.
I know the big main ones are gone.
There
good.
were some still up on the levees, I know. for
We
a
got
while.
ones off the levees.
Got those off, but then there was another
In
bunch
in the overflow. area,
in the
that was
overflow
done.
area,
I
and
don't-
it's grown up and all that through the
Check that.
bags.
So-
Yeah, long term, I don't think it's good if we could address that at some point. You don't want them in an overflow area, cause another kind of
So
environmental problems.
that was about 30,000 to Greer that needs to be moved over to the capital.
No.
Thirty
wait.
thousand to me,
Excuse me,
West Bay.
Yes,
moved over to.
yes, it got put in
Moved over
repair and
to budget.
maintenance, yes.
Okay, so with that said, you pretty sure about that 30 number?
I have it right here.
Okay, well, I'd say you're absolutely positive on it. Okay. So. The question was maintenance and repair of the system was 75 versus budget 27.
Mhm.
So that's 30 of it.
Right.
So we're also running ahead probably because of. The Oak Park lift station. Would be another reason we've had a higher. Maintenance repair. How much was that capitalized?
Herman Gordon,
Yeah.
talking about Herman Gordon.
Is that capitalized?
Most of that was covered by insurance,
Okay, all right, so that doesn't explain.
so
it.
we're good on that.
Okay,
Go ahead, Dan. Thank you.
All right, just quickly going over to the trial balance report, you'll see up in the note up in the corner that the cash balance is dwindling as we pay for all of these things. It's down to 993, 831 versus a year ago, it was at 1,612,000, but we have tried to maintain a balance of around $1 million, so we're not too far off target there, but we do have some expenditures and so forth that are going on right now that may reduce that down a little bit more. So
Mhm.
we will just have to put their approved, budgeted, or expense items that we have to work with there. So right now the cash is holding up as we move through. So
Well, I mean, a lot of projects, I mean, this is the time of year you get them done, you know. to
Yeah.
start.
We are,
Some
that's
bills are coming in, right? Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, that's kind of expected.
what Bobby and I were looking at, that we're checking them off that what we had budgeted.
So once we get them done, then we just sail and bring stuff in.
Hopefully.
the lagoon project that which is actually the next item, the lagoon liner replacement on the project status report, it is moving along very good. But it is incurring a little more cost than we budgeted for relative to dewatering the lagoon with the greer and the lime and the disposal of the sludge and everything. We've got one done, right, Bobby? Totally lined and
One is
everything,
complete.
and now we're working on the second one,
Mhm.
getting that done. And there's not as much sludge.
It's
in that
not,
one.
yeah, it's not like
Right,
that.
that's what you told me, so. But that's, it's running a lot. There's a lot more cost in mixing lime with the sludge and dewatering it to get it where it can go into the landfill, so. There,
And this is like a project that hasn't been done right in how long?
well, we did the main lagoons when we put in all the new liners,
Yes.
all of that there, and then these are the
The ones we haven't touched.
two other.
Right, these are the ones that were installed in like the early 2000s or something.
Yeah, we were gonna do halos, if you recall,
Yeah,
and the halo cost was more expensive than putting in the new liners.
Yes.
So,
so these hadn't been desludged since you're
Right.
guessing 2000 somewhere there when they were built and added to the system. Okay. I remember we just talking about this, that desludging in general, we hadn't done any on the first two, and they've been there like 50 years.
Right, then
Yeah.
we did those a few years back.
right.
And
they
so
did those.
what is our schedule for these? We're not gonna wait here 50 years, right?
No, I mean, you probably could, I mean, we're probably around every 15, 20 years.
Okay.
Probably
Yeah.
start doing, put them in a plan or something like that.
Well, there's also a synergy with the startup of the new screen.
Mhm.
So the Headwater project.
Yeah.
the Automatic screening. and
Okay.
all that. And it's
So you're
gonna-
thinking it might
it's gonna do a
prolong,
lot better
Yeah.
at removing miscellaneous stuff that manages to get pumped to your front door. That we can take that out continuously, so.
Mhm.
Yeah.
There's
so they should work even better now, longer. Okay, wonderful. If get everything, all the,
so it keeps the solids out, of course, you're gonna still have sludge, but the solid components that really kind of.
Yeah, I can already tell that.
really
Yeah,
good, good.
using the new system.
Yeah.
Yeah, solids are really getting taken in.
Well, great.
So,
But that's another project, right? Is that ongoing, taking care of those solids?
yeah, well, I mean, we take, that's what this new system does.
Yeah.
Takes them out, and we've already we started that when we switched over
So where do those solids go?
to waste pad.
Okay,
So
Got it.
what does the solid look like?
Looks like lettuce when it comes out.
Really?
Yeah, it's like mushed lettuce. Comes out in a big old, like sausage look.
What did it do, grind it?
Yeah, it grinds and presses it, because it presses out the water. Of the sewer water, and it drains into the wetland. And those solids just go out.
and how often are we now, what are we doing with those solids and how often do we do it?
We're just now planning it out.
Right.
It looks like we won't have to, get rid of the solids for like maybe once a month.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's all.
Well, that's exciting.
Has 2
When
yard.
it comes to the.
Yeah, we got a 2-yard dumpster out there that we're feeding it into,
Yes,
and then they'll just come once a month and pick it up.
great.
So getting used to the cadence of what it takes to keep it going.
Yeah,
So there's maintenance costs,
Keeping us
things you have to
compliant.
do, yeah.
keeping us,
But we
That's
haven't
good.
had any major rain since we put that in yet to see how that flows.
We
But
have
it,
one,
do we have one?
okay,
and it held up great. Like, cause we had that one storm, what was it, like a month ago?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, it was a pretty good little storm and, big tell difference in it. I mean, it kept it flowing and nothing backed up. I was happy with it.
That was
Yeah.
one of the main reasons we had to do that. It was keeping it back.
Oh, it's gonna help out.
So,
thank you.
so, all right, but what else projects, we got going on, you're working on the water side, what we been
Well, the
doing.
plant, yeah.
The plant.
Yeah, the plant's pretty much done. We're just, tightening down like set points and stuff on different things now. Making sure that everything kicks on like it's supposed to. It's so far it has. There's a couple of little things we gotta work on still on the plant side.
Yeah,
We talking about that water line that we wanted to increase the size of it, so we're talking about on the plant side.
No.
now I'm
Okay.
talking about the filters and the
Oh,
And they start
filter
next
media.
month.
you're talking about
the-
the waste plant,
the,
yeah.
No,
making sure,
water.
making
talking
sure
about
we're
water
getting,
Water,
we
okay,
can
okay,
separate it and so forth.
Yeah,
okay.
split
The
system and stuff. Been running
Split
fine.
system.
How many weeks ago did you get cut over
With the sewer?
for the water plant?
Oh, water plant.
The
About a
booster pumps?
month ago?
So had some tie-ins and had some low water conditions, and that was, I forget today, probably more than a month ago,
It
but.
might have been, yeah, I mean,
So he's talking about having the control set up, it's managing those 2 stations. And it's actually managed, for the, I won't say the first time, but the first time in a long time, the system's operating like it was originally designed to be,
Split system.
as a split system. It was kind of a pain to get her done, so you're tweaking on the control system to
Yes.
maintain that.
and we're getting there pretty good. It seems to be, cycling better than it has before.
Didn't we, I remember a water tower being this split system.
There's water tower on the municipal side.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
he pumps up to the water tower, and that maintains pressure on the system.
okay,
And on the plant side, it's maintained by booster pumps.
okay,
And that was set up to be that way. We were operating quite a bit different for many years.
yeah,
So we've got it back to the configuration it's meant to be, along with the new control front end.
Yes.
and why weren't we originally, what was the issue,
It wouldn't,
you know?
well, there was some I guess, figuring. We couldn't bring in enough water to feed the way it's supposed to be done, but now we can.
And is that part of our wells that we've updated? Right,
Well, it's a whole system basically.
Yeah.
And how you operate it and how you control it and
So
control.
that's the tweaking we've been doing, because we gotta be able to bring in and how we feed it out. You know, it's all got a dance,
yeah,
but
Yeah.
but the way we've got it so far, it seems to be doing really well.
yes, I understand. Good.
What about the filter media
That's
replacement?
that next month, the 17th is when they're supposed to come in and start. And they're gonna do one that way, we're supposed to do 2 a week. So they'll do one week, and I think they're gonna skip a week and then come back, but it should be like a total of 3 weeks. Should take place.
Okay.
I think
And that's media replacement for what?
That's the filters,
In which system?
drinking water.
Good.
So we'll have brand new media, filter media, and we'll have all the spray arms and stuff cleaned and. Should be better.
And did that take care of those valves or something?
No, the valves haven't been fixed yet.
Haven't been fixed
But,
yet?
yeah,
Are they still on the agenda?
we're gonna get them done some. So.
Yeah.
I mean, the valves work, it's just you gotta do 2 of them. But,
Yeah.
that's-
Okay, let's, uh, the Marshall Gaming operation, uh, they're looking, as they were here at the city council meeting on Monday night, they're looking to be in operation in February of 26. And we have been working with them on sewer and water, I guess, providing water. and
They've got water. All we gotta do is all they gotta do is open up that lift station. That's it.
they built their own lift station. Is that what they did?
But it's gonna be ours and, even the generator and stuff that's with it was given to us. We'll keep up with it.
Okay. So there's, as far as we're concerned, everything's good there.
We're just waiting for them to do to go into it. Right now, they're still using the bypass lift station.
Okay.
But all the lines have been located and connected.
So on that lift station, we have an engineer review on that or anything, to make
Yes.
sure it's,
Oh, yeah,
everything's.
it's
right.
over designed.
Okay, oh, good. That's really.
It's over designed,
Yeah.
being with the stuff across the street too. Anything that we're
Yeah.
not doing.
Chad was working with them. on
Chad,
that.
that's
Yep.
It's okay.
Or Q4, whatever. it is.
Yeah.
S4?
No,
Is it
that's the
S?
water.
Oh,
It's Q4. Right. I think it's one of those. The new S4 is the water. They're the ones doing the building.
yes, they are. Okay.
Uh, let's see.
Sewer gonna be metered on that, or is it gonna be based off water?
Theirs is based off water. It's the same as anything else. Only difference what happened here was they built this brand new lift station for us. But the sewage and stuff is still gonna be figured the same for any other place.
And there shouldn't be a lot of, everything should be water and going through
Yeah, I just didn't
the
know.
lift station to be,
I just saw, I did a lot of underground stuff out there in that park.
Well, there's some storm drainage too they put out there underneath the parking lot.
I didn't know where that was.
So
They're
the-
feeding that out.
Well,
Kentucky Down Village would feed into that lift station.
Not that one.
no,
Okay,
that,
so
that would be another lift.
They're the
was
only
on
ones
top
that
of
are
the-
on that one.
Yeah.
The only ones that are on that one.
No, they got the hotels over there.
Okay,
All the hotels tagged.
okay, everything over, I know what you're saying.
They
Okay.
feed into that.
Okay.
Now, were they on sewer before? Those
Those
other
are-
hotels and tag and
Yeah.
so forth, they were
Yeah,
as well?
they're-
Yeah,
they're-
okay. I didn't know where they were on. Yeah.
Yeah, cause that gravity line comes down towards the old lift station and then it bent back out, but back up. again.
so a lot of the underground work you saw out there was stormwater handling. So they've been really proactive in figuring out they're gonna be able to handle all the stormwater on their side. The regulations tighten and they need to do something different. They're gonna be able to control the distance. So a lot of that underground parking lot work you saw was related to handling stormwater. The lift station is the wastewater and then, utility relocation out there. For changes to traffic flow is active talks going on with how they're gonna deal with that. So they announced in council, they threw out a date of late February for opening ribbon cutting. When they said that, they also thought that was pretty aggressive. So that gives you a time frame or what Marshall Yard was telling the council.
Were we ever able to get any information from the light site they've got as far as water usage? Traffic flow, any of that
Marshall Yard
stuff?
stuff?
Yeah, they got another one where in Owensboro.
Oh, girl.
Yeah, So we
They got
got,
one on for too.
Oh, did it?
yeah,
So to answer your question, Chad has got some pretty good data and some notes about what the, what the prediction on water is.
okay,
And he wasn't just saying it was potential for development.
okay.
And I'm actually looking for that note right now.
I don't remember.
I don't have that printed.
No. Either. Don't think that was in, it wasn't in what he sent me for the ad. I know he worked very closely with them on volumes and everything as far as what we needed and how that
Yeah.
lift
So the
station.
question has been asked. But
Yeah, the traffic flow out there, I mean, I mean, that's really a bottleneck out there.
gonna be too.
I mean,
State's
if a
working on it.
trucker, if he get the cab in front of you, he's out in that area. He's gonna pull out in front of you. I got where I go through Givertsville a lot of times. I don't want to mess with it, but I'm just wondering if we pull a lot more cars off of that, what we're gonna do to that juncture there.
Well, I mean, we've talked about before, roundabout is a realistic possibility. I don't know if you've experienced those, but to me, it looks like an ideal area because you have
So
multiple
that's how
entry points,
far.
five entry points into that
Or
area.
is that 10 years off, 5
No,
years
that's
off,
27.
27? Okay.
That was the last report I heard from the
I'm looking
state.
at it right now.
Highway
That was sent.
The state was very enthusiastic about
Yeah.
pursuing that.
So I was able to print that out.
Yes, it does, that's not.
Now, whether or not that holds, Steve, I don't know.
Well, who wouldn't?
It's Chad on September 3rd.
If there was a sent to the English, you could. Yeah, you got it.
I could send that to everyone if you want me to.
Yeah, we can forward that on.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what we like.
We can have a print out of a hard copy tonight. We want to talk about it. So September 3rd, Chad went through some of the things on, estimating what you asked about for the overall system as far as feeding into future prediction of what it's gonna be per
Right.
kilogallon. So we've got those numbers developed and we can certainly forward them on. And then I guess it's, Kentucky Dam Village is a sewer flow, and then, is that what's this, is this water and sewer? Okay, so he's got both of them, both of them there. So the big thing we have to look out for, we have signed a contract with Rivercrest. Are we getting out of whack here on, we okay? We on
We're
the
okay.
to deal with the state park. And
Mhm.
so several years ago, we gave them Roger that had worked with probably Lynn. And we'd talked to them about the shortcomings of collecting data from Kentucky Dam Village. So they want to be out of running a sewer plant. And we are interested in taking their flow. So there's a project they've done a lot of work. I forget how many dollars they spent taking care of their overflow and intrusion into their system. And they've done that, done everything we've asked them to. They're ready to move that to the next stage. So we just approved Rivercrest to start interfacing with their engineering group to see where we're gonna land. So with Marshall Yards and the potential out around Cracker Barrel for things, we gotta really take a hard look. And I think we've talked about it in this meeting. And this is the what we call Little Cypress. What we call Cypress Lake Sewer Station. Is what's the size of it volume wise? What's the capacity of the pump? And what kind of, what pressure we're gonna run the pressure line on the discharge. So that's all, we're ready to start looking at all that and see what it's gonna take to get there.
Yeah, and we actually went over that the other day, Chad came,
Right, that was the meeting you had last week, right?
this was just the other day,
Yesterday, Tuesday.
day before yesterday.
Tuesday. Yeah, so we're actively working on that engineering work. And it's,
So he's working on it.
so the,
Grand Engineering is the one for the Kentucky Dam Village that's been doing all of their work. And so Chad's been in contact working directly with them for all this data.
so if the dam goes and, they're collecting everything at a lift station to move it forward, our existing lift station improved. what's the whole cost for that? And trying to figure out how that works and lead to a decision whether this is a go or no go for Calvert City and the terms of the contract thereof. And it's not to be taken lightly. Yeah. So Chad's done some prediction on both water usage and sewer for things we've identified as growth opportunities, including all this stuff. You know, and it's gonna be that, you know, we don't know really, I mean, it's like any other forecast. You know, you're gonna get hotels or not, and what, you know, what's the interest rate doing, when you gonna pull the trigger? There's not currently been any announcements, but you just take a look at the lay of the land and, you know, make sure we're sized for the best, and, so we've got that data here. And we really aren't to the point of making any real hard, fast decisions on it, and then the wastewater, on the wastewater side, the introduction of Kentucky Dam Village in here has a lot to be determined. You know, whose infrastructure is it? It's theirs, not ours. A lot of it's old, a lot of it's infrastructure on water lines. The water at the village is supplied by North Marshall Water.
Right.
So that's where the question somebody had, I think Steve, about the flow meter on the wastewater.
Right.
So we will have a flow meter on the wastewater flow from the state park, if that's where I would go. And so it's, you know, pretty exciting, actually. You know, we're looking at increasing your flow to help control your costs for everybody concerned. And state park sure doesn't want to be in the business of running wastewater. And we've got our lagoons clean and empty. We got improvements on this end, so it's all kind of moving that direction.
Yeah,
So
just takes a long time to get you ducks lined up,
Yeah.
you know, the water flow too.
but
is
seriously, this talk with Kentucky Dam Village
Yeah.
has been going on for years.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah.
And they've done quite a bit of heavy lifting, stuff they needed to do for the rock.
I did.
And so, we'll see where we go from there. And there's all kinds of issues that we need to look out for. And when we get into that, this body's gonna be very important in trying to make sure that everything has been thought of.
So if all this comes to pass, the water flow capability to meet that need, we're looking at that as well as to guarantee our plant partners
Right.
that they're gonna have a dependable water source. Okay. Okay.
So we've actually in this prediction, probably a little less, firm is there is at least one industry has provided a prediction on their water usage. And moving forward with that, so that's good.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he gave me here was.
I will forward that email to everyone tomorrow.
Okay. It's good. It's all good news.
Next item on the agenda was the basically the cleaner water program grant funds that we have left on the Lone Valley Road project is about 200,000 of grant funds. And we had asked Chad to look at what was the name of that road, Arizona?
Little Rock.
Yeah. He came back with a estimate to do the Little Rock Lane and Atlanta Lane water main extensions. And his engineering estimate on that would be 342,000, which is 142,000 more than what we have in that grant money. We can, so we need to, in order to keep this moving, we need to try to decide if we want to do all of that or do part of that or ask him to cut out the Atlanta part or and stay within the 200,000. And I'm not sure where we would get the 142 because of other projects that we've got going on. We're eating into our own cash flow.
And
So-
money has to be spent by when, or at least initiated.
It needs to be, project needs to be going by the end of the year, I believe.
End
is
of
what-
this year?
No, end of,
Fiscal year?
He's told us a date when the monies have to be spent. He's told us the date when we have.
I think it's the end of 26.
That's what I
think.
thought he said.
Yeah. Mhm.
We have time, but we gotta get moving. We gotta get it designed and.
Right.
Get it executed next summer.
Not knowing the geography, is it possible to do one and not the other? And how many houses, how many residences are on each one?
I think the answer to that is, Bruce, is yes, but I don't know that I've got it here available unless it's on that map right behind you there.
Just
You
saying.
know,
but,
the rest of them talking about potentials on Little Rock and
Yeah.
Atlanta.
Yeah,
And he's got 10 potential here.
10, just on Little Rock.
It just says Little Rock and Atlanta
Yeah,
together.
and there
I
have
think that's
been,
about all there is back there.
is that about right,
I
Michael?
don't
Do you
those
know?
areas.
Except for about his house.
Got it.
Right across from me.
Well, that's trouble then.
I was just looking at it because I can't remember either, but. Yeah, I would say, just guessing that there's probably. Half. I would say half the potential customers are on each section of that road. Half of them on Little Rock and they. Little Rock goes back in Wise and Atlanta goes back toward the interstate and Little Rock continues on. Kind of also toward the interstate, but a little bit more to the east. But just on, when I was walking around back there and talking to folks, the ones that I know that would be interested in water, I would say it's about 50-50 split on the Little Rock portion versus the Atlanta portion.
And is Little Rock the immediate,
That's the
Little
main,
Rock- It's
Just
just right
along-
off of Lone Valley.
right off of Rome Valley? So to tie into that and to go down there would not be.
So you said there's about out of 10, 5 residences on each one.
Yeah.
Looks like if we developed Little Rock though, then we could develop Atlanta later. Would be the logical thing to do. You'd have to do Little Rock. You can't do Atlanta and not do Little Rock though. Right.
Is
my
that
point.
grant still eligible for any low interest funding from the state?
It's what?
Is that, can that grant also be used to match money from the state if we got the low interest state money?
I
Cause
don't,
it's what, and you got 58% of your money here with the grant.
Right.
So
Is there another
can
resource?
we not go to the state like we've done before with these projects and ask for low interest funding from them?
I'm pretty sure Chad, I think I asked Chad something about this.
Okay.
He said no, because he got it at such a low one anyway. You
Yeah.
don't think that you can get in there.
Okay. But that came through that deal with the purchase,
Yeah.
the pad, right?
Mhm.
So that went through the pad. Was that state money or federal? See, I think that was probably federal money. And if it's federal money, sometimes you can leverage federal money with the state to get some kind of additional funding to finish that project. That'd be a conversation that we need to
I thought.
find out, because I would more inclined to think we need to come up to 142. We need to get that done out there. Those people that came to the meeting that owned property but did not have a residence established, where we at there?
That's a different
That's a
section.
different road.
How far?
I mean, it's where we ended, or where we looked around Lone Valley. Harris Road goes up.
Harris Lane goes all the way back up on top of the hill overlooking the old racetrack. So
Okay.
the property they bought is going up that hill that you can see from the interstate. There's some empty lots up there, you know, the house right on the,
Yeah,
on the point.
Smith Hill, the Smith House.
Well, no, that's actually the old Shanklin house is what I've always called it.
Okay.
'Cause Rick Shanklin built that house up on the very tip that overlooks over. And when he sold out, he sold some individual lots going up that Paris Road. And I believe those folks must own some of those lots. They're vacant. But that's a different road. It is still tied to it's tied to the Lone Valley
Yes.
section. But there are, yeah, I mean, that's,
I guess where I'm going with this is if we did all the project, does that put us in a better position to encourage people to go out there and build in that area? And we could supply them with water also. And I don't know the area well enough to know that answer.
yeah, I'm not sure if there's any available lots or anything on the Atlanta and Little Rock section. I'm not sure.
I mean, I think what we determined was that, and I could be wrong in this, but that the grant money was more directly pointed at where people are already living as opposed to.
Right, but both, if we do all that we're talking about through Atlanta and Little Rock, does that put us in a better position? Should there be future things out there? Or would we have to come back and start all over from something? You see where I'm going with that?
I think so.
It's like the Paris Road project would be completely separate from the Little Rock. It would be another addition, another loop taken off the Lone Valley main.
Okay,
Yes,
so it doesn't put us in any better
No, it
position
doesn't.
if we leave one of these off.
I don't think so.
Okay,
Not from a geographic.
okay.
Well,
Because I mean, we could, well, I mean, we have talked about and looked at possibly, I mean, a completely different location,
Yeah,
but we didn't come up with
yeah,
anything.
I think we kind of recommended this, you know,
Mhm,
because
we did.
this is the best shot to make. I guess what I'm struggling with, do we not try to
Well,
get them both while we're out there
I think
doing
when we
it?
first started looking at it, we thought we were only gonna be about 40,000 short. Now
Yeah.
we're 140,000 short, so I think that changes the whole
The whole
thing,
dynamics.
because we thought we were gonna be able to, there was some initial assessment for roughly 240,000 and we had 200. That was kind of a no-brainer, but now we're only talking about at most 10 potential customers out there.
Right,
And that's if every one of them take water, so now I don't know, I would have to, those numbers would have to be crunched. That's a pretty expensive job for
yeah,
a small area. I mean, I'd love to get them water, but I don't know that it's financially,
yeah,
now that we found out it's gonna cost quite a bit more than we anticipated, that may that may tip the scales. To
Yeah.
look at, like Dan said, those other places or, cause it's,
Is this 200,000 involving a lift station?
not
No.
those
Issues.
that's
No,
what,
just water line.
Lift station's waste, right? So
Yeah.
strictly water.
and
Okay.
we've already completed the loop, right, without it, okay.
yes,
Yes,
yes, we got the lead. We got the biggest bang for the buck. There's probably a couple of fire hydrants that need to go on the existing line. We got fire hydrants that we put in with the new line. But up amongst the residential structures that are there, and now that we got it looped in, we probably need to consider putting the fire hydrant in, but that's not gonna qualify for this grant funding, as I understand it. What was our remaining fund numbers that we have spent? You remember right off,
How much we,
in this cleaner water? What was our
About
remaining numbers?
200,000.
the
And so-
200,000.
So the estimate on this was,
342.
yeah, so that 142 would come out of our budget.
right, there's it.
Okay.
So which one are we saying we would do the Little Rock or we would do the Atlanta?
We'll do
Which
the
one are we
Little
not
Rock
gonna
first,
do that
because that
first?
according to Mike,
That's your main.
it's where it's gonna tie
That's the
in
tie-in.
at Long
That's the
Valley
tie-in.
Road, and then you go down, and then you would tie into
Atlanta.
Atlanta to get to. with Little Rock.
And you may just stop it at that Y and then if you ever go on, you go both. I don't know. Yeah, I was looking at the map and I think if you up to the Ys where the most residences are, once it Ys, there's only one or two more back the end of those roads.
Here's the why.
Yeah, and the one in the back is the one that talked to me. They want water.
Yeah, Atlanta back out, and the furthest one.
In Atlanta or on?
On Little Rock.
Yeah.
The one in the very back.
See what's out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you have Chad relook at it. I mean, here's my suggestion. Let's have Chad relook at it and do several things. One is how far just to go to the Y. The Y, what we mean by the Y is Little Rock
Comes down.
meets Atlanta. And so where Atlanta and Little Rock continue is the Y. So we could look at pricing going just to the Y. Or let's just go half the Y. Let's go all the way down Little Rock Lane. Since we started it and just keep going. Because there's residents down there that are.
So we got a number of those projects that have cost estimates with them. And now we've added this one, and I can't find my summary. We really need to get the summary in front of this board. And put together a summary and send it to you on email and be prepared to really say what we're gonna do.
Well, and my suggestion here is that we just try to spend up to what we can on the 200,000. If somebody can revisit your question, if this is federal money, if there is some loan money that would match at a very low rate, I'm all for that. I mean, our revenues seem to be in a good place, even though we're going through it here. Are we cash? Part of what we're going through is the cash, what cash we've had to finish these projects we're talking about this year. You know, you've got revenue, we're ahead of our estimates in terms of budget and things of that nature. There's always unexpected expenses always, right?
We were spending, the 200,000 is strictly grant monies and would not touch any of our other cash or flow or anything else.
Do we feel like this is our best option in terms of marketing some houses? Do we have another area that we're missing?
Well, what I said, we had
Several
a few.
projects possible.
We had a few, and
Okay.
this was the last one we asked them to look at and price out. We had them in a tabular form at one time in a previous meeting. And I cannot find that right now.
I don't think, I didn't bring it.
We
with me.
really, need to consider this and come up with a direction in November
Yeah, to give you enough time to
to flush this thing out. And Chad's done enough work. He's done everything we've asked him to do. This was one that he figured out the linear feet of water line, and we've got the cost estimate together. So we've completed our potential projects to look at.
Well, if we bring these businesses in and you bring the jobs in and people come in, it's my hope that some of these people will buy a house or build a house in Calvert. Not the lake.
Right.
So where do we have, last person I talked about, said, he started looking in Calvert and he wound up, he needed a 3-bedroom, wanted a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath. And he's in the county. Couldn't find it. So I have no idea. I'm not a real estate agent, so I have no idea what the housing situation is. But if we're going to create those jobs, I would like to see the city have them living in the city,
Right.
and paying for all the benefits they're receiving out there. I mean, police, water, fire.
Debating what he's saying. Is that zoning? Talking about future and how
Well,
to,
one of the things that we're having to deal with is state legislatures encouraging statewide dealing with pre-manufactured homes. Right. And there's some government regular state level that we're having to incorporate in. But we've got development outside city limits sometimes because Calvert City's hard to deal with. And what we have is a branding problem with zoning. If you're a developer, you want to do your thing, it's awful attractive to go close proximity and run your own show with less
regulation.
regulation. But truly, I mean, with what we've been running with Mr. Wilkerson here, and we're working to to replace him. He's retired for good and trying to shepherd people in, but just, you know, a lot of times when I said it's a branding problem is that the requirements are not really that arduous. And it's just the unknown that really turns people off. And so we need to work on that overall, but obviously having good utilities available at reasonable prices is imperative when people develop. Now, there's land out and around for sale in some pretty large tracts right now. And where it's at, annexation is really a hot button at the last meeting of the state legislature, and you know, permission granted by the counties in order to zone. Calvert City's never zoned anybody against their wishes that I'm aware of. And so you got a lot of areas that's not true. You got cities going out and we're zoning places and leapfrogging around and taking revenue from the county. And here that doesn't do that. You know, we share Calvert City taxes do not count against county taxes. So we're that size of county where you don't really run into that fiscal competition between county and the city because they later on. Well, is that good or bad? Well, depends on your tax circumstance, whether that's good or bad. So there's a lot of other things that fit in to whether your city's actually getting development. How many empty lots do you have in our area? One of the big problems for us, a lot of the ground that is available is in the flood zone. You run into those kinds of problems.
Yeah.
So there's you got it, a lot of different things, utilities being just one of them that build into whether you're growing or not. And then the city council and the mayor's office, from time to time, we picked up the topic of how do we incentivize, whether it's through grants or through putting in infrastructure to get more developers interested in coming here versus what we've done in the past. It's a whole new world. I mean, we've got a legacy in the past that the developer has to do some, we say the roads have to be this, the water system has to be this, and the developer has to pay for that out of their pocket for the development. That can,
28 acres on 62 in the city or out?
you know, I don't know right offhand. I'm not, I have to say that I have to defer on that. They're very close to being in. I don't know, Dustin, do you know?
I think it is in the city.
And
Before you get to the side.
it's been marketed as a tract for development for, I'd hate to guess, 15, 20 years at one time. Virgil and Rick owned it, and they were gonna do that and couldn't get going. At one time, there was talk about trying to get it to be the new middle school located there, and that fell flat on its face. Actually, the new middle school wasn't that tract, it was on kind of behind where Baptist would be now. So there's been some efforts from time to time in there, but there's no infrastructure in there. So if somebody came to us and they bought it and came to us and wanted to strike a deal, that's something that would have to be talked about. And that's going to be somewhat controversial because you've had some developers had to pay for all of them, and it may not be the case of what we have to do now. And so that's a hard thing for council to wrestle with. And so, you know, that it's the market that it is and the things that we need, but housing obviously is a very hot button to go. There's several empty lots in Calvert for sale right now, more so than we've had, but they may not be in the most desirable location, but it does have city utilities and things available. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do in the marketplace. So how do you foster maybe some change in what the communities look like? You've got some older structures coming down and some older structures surrounding, but you got some empty lots. Somebody's gonna go in there and put 2 or 3 nice ones. Boom, boom, boom. And what does that do for the investor, whether that's recognizable or not for them? But you know, as far as finding a lot to build in Calvert, you can right now. A small number of them. We don't have a new subdivision going on. So
And we've talked about it before. We've got some people holding on to some pretty big pieces of land within Calvert, say between the old, 8th Avenue, no, way back there. Can't tell you exactly, but from between 95 and Old Park.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
getting up Faust
Yeah.
Place, behind the Faust
Yeah.
Place, or below it, north of it.
Mhm.
There's some big spaces in there,
Yeah.
but they're heavily, you know,
and the
they're
turnover.
not available for sale.
And the turnover on some of those has happened is from large landowner to large landowner.
Really.
So when they're sold and you got a tract that size, you have somebody else that's looking for a tract that size and you sell it that size, it remains that size. I mean, we're talking about finding somebody who's going to be able to buy one of those with a willingness to develop it.
Well,
what we
my other
have
question,
in
are
this-
there,
in this
do they
part-
have any kind of use right now? Are they just growing woods?
Well, it's just like, we're getting way far afield from.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but, some of the largest investors in our community, people from our town, buy some properties and they've got their investment and they want to make that investment in this piece of property, but they're not really wanting to make it a retail establishment. They're not really wanting to make it multiple home sites. They're wanting to do something else with it. And they've got the money to buy the tract and they've got, the desire to do that. Well, they've got their money on the line and they've been a successful buyer and they get to do what they want to do within the context of our zoning. So the zoning can be residential. And if they want to have a super big lot and not take advantage of that, full advantage of that, you really, and you've got other people in the community that know the price that people paid for that. And if they aren't willing to invest at it for maybe a higher valued use, and that's probably the wrong use of terminology for me to say. But if folks want to have it and use it to store their stuff and not do much else with it, and they put the money into it, and somebody doesn't come by and offer them more money for a different option, what can you really do with that? I mean, that's free market. And so you got to have the traffic counts, you got to have the notion that if I invest at this level, that I'll be able to turn it into something desirable.
Mhm.
And so residential, a big hot button right now. And I say we
Yeah.
have a branding issue with zoning. For me, my home is a major portion of my portfolio, and I want to know what's down the street. I want to know what's behind me. I'm gonna get on my commercial thing for zoning again. But if somebody wants to, you go out in the county and somebody wants to put a hog lot on something that's been in their family for 3 generations, I don't have a lot of sympathy for you.
Mhm.
And if you got several big houses out there, they're gonna be down at the county thing saying, hey, I'm gonna say, Benton's the same way, Rita's the same way. She has zoning, she has areas, she wants growth, you can protect your investment. A lot of times people don't see it that way.
Right.
And so that's why.
Different goals. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And and just across we've got on different areas coming from McCracken, you can go and see expansion of houses. People centered around the Paducah McCracken Population Center that are coming over the county line, and they're not interested in driving, further down the highway to get here. So what does it take to develop that? And obviously a strong utility system is part of that puzzle. And I'm proud of you guys for, being able to help us make some great decisions here. So we need to get some data to the board members and try to go for a decision like in November. Because we've got some good estimates that Chad's done, and we know how much grant funds we've got a really good group of a set of data that I think that we can take a look at. And come
Yeah,
up with a
I'll
decision.
get that. I'll get with Chad and get that information pulled together.
But we might be able to pull it together from stuff he's already sent us.
Possibly can. Yeah, we'll look at that and see.
It's just a matter of pulling it in one spot.
Yeah.
I'm trying to ask my computer to do it for me, and it's not wanting to do it.
Yeah, AI is not working.
Well, no, the reason it's not working because it's about every other message from Chad McCann to me has a cost estimate with it. I said, hey,
Yeah.
pull these together, and it's a very small subgroup, and it can't find it. So I'm gonna have to
All right.
tip it.
All right, let's move on. The other one that we need to talk about. We did have the surveyors go out and survey the Cypress Lakes meter box location. And it has been determined that it is right on the property line,
Which we thought it was.
which we thought it was. And now the question is, do we go and install it regardless of what the neighbor wants to do? Do we go and talk to the neighbor and say, we're going to put this here, or what do we do? But we need to, I think it's to our advantage as a group and as the water and sewer for the
Can we-
city to have that 1 meter and let them take care of all of their lot.
Absolutely.
So we need to move forward. I haven't been out there to see the line. Is there a way to position the meter where it's on the Cypress Lake side at all? That's it. Okay. All right. Well, I think
I
there's.
mean, that property line is like, it's. Unless you have, like I said, unless we have some kind of right of way on our.
Well, with the matter that we do have a right of way for that water line to be there. And then, given the size of this meter, and the size of this box, and it's uncertain whether that right of way would encompass that or not. And so we'll have a conversation with the landowner and see what he wants to do, the adjacent landowner.
And his problem is he didn't want one at all. He thinks it'll be an eyesore or something like that on his, at the edge of his
That's what I
property.
got.
Right. I'm sorry. If we have the right of way and we need it, we gotta do it. We gotta do it. I'm sorry you don't like it. But, you know, I'm just not gonna, do the best you can, but if we gotta have it, we gotta have it. Got a lot going on. And I mean, is this kind of tied to all our other projects here? You need, it's water there, right?
Yes, well,
Right, okay.
It's
This
just,
We just got a lot going on and we need
Yeah.
that to be,
and it ain't been really
Like every-
pressing, so we ain't really pushed for it yet.
Yeah, that's it. So let me recast this. So, the water line's been there for many years. And we don't have any record of the right of way for when it was developed or anything like that, from my understanding. But the fact that it's been there, I mean, it's got an established right to be there. So then you say putting a 2-inch meter in there requires what size wall?
Well, that's like a 6 by or something like that.
Which is, a pretty good size chunk.
you'll notice.
And it's gonna have a good lid on it. You can drive a tractor across it. So it's not gonna protrude above. So it's just a matter of making sure the understanding's there, but there's some idea of how different utilities would handle that. Going in, my line is here, I put the meter in, we're done. Or whether you just have good communication. I can't think of any barrier to good communication, but knowing where the property line is and figuring out what the proper way to proceed with the right of way.
Is it straight up in the air? Is this?
No, it'd be ground level.
It would be, how deep is that? Water line?
4 foot.
Yeah, so it'll be a
sizable.
precast
Yeah.
vault
Right.
is installed there, and then there's valving in the meter that have to be in that hole, and it won't even be, it'll be radio read, it won't even be go there and hoist it up there.
Right.
They're periodically.
Just for
they'll look at it.
maintenance, if they need it, we'll just have to do that.
But we'll just have a conversation with the
Yeah.
individual had a concern.
Right.
And so it's more of a matter of protocol. Whether but it's, talk is cheap and we'll see what's on
Well,
their
you've
paper.
established property line, that's the first step.
Mhm.
So you've got that established, and I'm sure he saw this property owner has
I'm sure
also
he has,
seen
'cause he's
that,
mowed
so.
Well, the thing is establishing the property line, was it necessary or not? Establishing the property line is more of that conversation survey, know where it comes from.
Yeah.
What's happening, but that needs to be done. I don't know really what's driving that timeline on that, other than we have a failure in all those myriad of water lines through Cypress Lakes that we were to go through and really adopt that infrastructure. It could be quite costly. And if you the landowner in there, you can maintain it at a different standard than what we would maintain it and save a lot of money. So they're ready to do centralized billing, and we're ready for them to do centralized billing. It's just the roads through there and the way the structures are, it's just a myriad of water lines in there, and it's the best thing to
The
do.
main problem is that one water line goes underneath
Right.
trailers there,
Yeah.
and if they bust a leak,
We have.
we had some go all the way in the floor of the trailer.
It's just
And
unacceptable.
If you were in the shoes of a landowner running an RV park, do you want a major utility project going down in your area to straighten this infrastructure out, or are you willing to live with what you got? So they're been very amenable to the conversation of, we'll make what we have work, and that's good, and that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
So we just need to have that conversation.
Yeah.
And again, we've had a lot on the plate. A lot. So just now getting out to where it's actionable.
Yep. Okay.
We're starting, the wrinkles out.
Okay, one other, rate study with rural water, I didn't talk to him, I emailed Bob today this week, and he is working on it, and he should have us some information by the next November meeting to look at and review.
But we are sending him this information
It
about.
has all been sent.
Yes.
Good deal.
Yeah, everything has been sent to him.
And I believe,
And if he asks for more, we'll send it to him.
he's probably not used to getting that kind of forecast information. But we got some assignable things that we think where we're gonna do.
Yeah,
It's good to have those scenarios mapped out.
Yeah.
And I'm not, you know, I haven't talked to him to know if that's something he's done before. I'm willing to bet it's not as normal to have that kind of a forecast.
Okay.
So,
I think that covers everything on the agenda that we've got. So. Bill, you got anything?
Just from our minutes from last meeting, first page, affluent lift station, one slide gate is defective and will have to be replaced.
Already done.
It's all done.
Great. Any follow-up on the Louisville study? Any more discussion by the council since we met last, or we're basically letting that sit? We
That's it.
expressed our concerns at our meeting.
That's in the hands of the mayor.
Okay.
Him to make a decision as to what he's going to do, one way or the other.
Okay.
And
I'm just saying those were some issues we brought up. Didn't know if there was any follow-up.
at this point, we're not sure what we're gonna do.
Those are the questions I have.
Okay. Michael Ford, you got it?
I was just trying to remember where we left the, we were gonna consider fees for sprinkler systems for fire.
Oh, yeah, I didn't get that on the agenda either.
And I just didn't know if we made any progress on that, or I couldn't remember where we left that. I know Mayor had asked us to consider that, and it seems like, so I think it's a great idea. It's with one of those new businesses coming online before long, who's probably gonna have a sprinkler system. Be nice to have that in place so that we could have that ready to, give to that new customer.
Are you still working on your list of items that needs to have fees put on them?
Yeah, and I don't have a movie.
I know, and you don't, but I'm just saying, you still
We
working
got,
on a
we
list?
got quite a few things.
Okay, why don't we put that on the agenda for November?
Okay.
Estimate.
And have a talk about it.
include, if you can, Bobby, I know it's a shot in the dark, but.
I'll try to make a note to do that.
Okay.
I did ask Glenda about the new software and everything, and it is being installed and moving along. They're working on right now they're working on the park side and some of the other city side first but they'll start working on downloading our data pretty quickly. So that's hopefully will be in place. Steve, you got anything?
Only thing that, maybe if we just on this rate thing, we need to look, in my opinion, at this descending amount per gallon based on our larger users. Make sure that even though they're using a large amounts of water, that we're not discounting it to our own detriment. So that's the only comment I've got.
Right. Bruce, you got anything? Something on your mind? Any suggestions or improvements or?
Think you have a well-oiled machine.
I'm not sure about
Sounds
that.
like a lot of progress over the last.
Yeah.
Few months, years, whatever, I'm sure what time span, but it sounds like things are much better than they were before.
Yeah, Bobby, do we cover everything you want?
I don't say,
Cover?
I can think of it.
Bobby, beside the apartments there on Fifth Avenue, I noticed they've been putting some kind of gravel down. Is that just to make it easier to deal with the?
no, you're thinking about the detention basin.
I guess, yes.
Well,
Oh.
that's not a utility question. It's a city question. We got an update. There's a walking trail out there now.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
So
was
after
wondering.
clearing out the lowland trees, it left quite a scar on that area, and a lot of the homeowners there were used to having the woods across
Yes.
the street and
I wrote
left it. So it's been a topic of conversation at the council since we did that, what to do with it. So there is now a walking trail. I'm trying to remember how far it was. I'm going to say about a quarter mile,
Mhm.
and you can do laps, and there's been people walking on it. People who don't really walk anywhere else. And so that's, to help spruce that up, there's gonna be some plantings, actually, planting some trees and
That'd be great.
working to beautify that. Not the bad news, but that thing's set to flood.
Yes,
And so primary, it was designed to give as much volume as possible. And in that design, it's been a number of years ago, it maximized the available property. So we didn't leave enough space to do a trail all the way around the thing.
Right.
We ran into property lines. And also, we're really gonna take care of our banks. You can't do a lot of infrastructure is gonna be possibly messing with your dock.
right.
Physical,
Mhm.
what's the word I'm looking for? The dock's physical structure to be there a long time. And so, we don't want to debilitate that, but a walking trail over there, and there's gonna be some more plans to make it a prettier place. I think, of that was your question? I
That
don't.
was my question.
So, yeah. We gotta keep the mechanical integrity of the working part of it.
Yes,
And,
yeah, I mean, it's doing its job,
and,
right?
I wasn't.
Yeah, it's working.
I'll admit, I wasn't a big proponent of that because when I looked at the number, it just seemed to me that really the size of the site to be meaningful needed to be quite a bit larger.
Mhm.
And we maxed it out. The design team maxed it out, and we had that major flooding event back in the spring, and we didn't get as much rainfall here as other parts of the county, but still, I mean, we had citizens that would have certainly been flooded had it not been for that
Yes.
infrastructure. So
Well, it's
I'm not really
Really
totally
pleased it's there.
pro, but I'll be the first to tell you that it's really done a great job
Yeah.
for us.
I'm glad it's there.
Glad to see it there.
All right, do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn.
Yes, sir. Second.
I'll second.
I don't know, maybe we'll sit here.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank
you all for your time and effort.
I have one more question, Rob.
What?
Hold on.
Commerce question.